Hello, everybody. This is Jimmy. You're reading with Jimmy. We're reading Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Chapter 4, Analysis, pages 48, 49, the analysis. We left off the last time with the animals trying to get into the house where Alice is trapped. We know, of course, that she's all contorted up in this little rabbit house, and she's trapped. But is she trapped? She's big enough to break through everything, but she's not breaking through. But that's okay. We're going to talk about that as we go through. And now, what's going on now? Oh, they'll do well enough. Don't be particular here, Bill. And these are the animals talking that Alice is listening to, as we see up here. Will the roof bear? Mind the loose slate. So we know we have a slate roof now. Is it going to hold? Bill, catch hold of the rope. There's things going on outside. And remember, Alice can't see. She cannot see what's going on. She can only hear. And this is what she's hearing. And said, heads up, heads below. And there was a loud crash. Now, who did that? It was Bill, I fancy. Who's to go down the chimney? Nay, I shan't. You should. So they're arguing who's going to go down, that somebody is going to send somebody down this chimney to get this person out of the house. That's what's going on. They're arguing who's going to do it. They're putting up ladders. Things are going on. And then in the last sentence of that paragraph, the master says, you've got to go down the chimney. You've got to go down the chimney. The master. Who's the master? Who is the master? I'm going to guess, you should guess, it's the rabbit. It's his house. Whoever the master is, the master says, you're going down. Oh, so Bill's got to come down the chimney, has he, says Alice to herself. So apparently she's concluded that here, Bill, the master says, you got to go down the chimney. So Bill is going to come down the chimney. And Alice says to herself, she's not talking out loud yet, so Bill is coming down. Why, they seem to put everything on Bill. They're betting everything on Bill. I wouldn't be in Bill's place for a good deal. Now, she said, I wouldn't be Bill for anything, right? Why is that? Well, because Bill, whoever Bill is not as big as Alice, and size does matter in this case. This fireplace is narrow, but I think I can kick. I can kick. The fireplace is narrow, but I think I can kick. She's hatching a plan. This is very important. We're going to talk about logic, I told you earlier. So as she's listening to these creatures, they're going to come down that chimney. Now remember, this is not her house. She wants out, but she's defending the house now. So she drew her foot as far down the chimney as she could. That means if she drew her foot down the chimney, that means it's been in the chimney. So her foot was sticking up in the chimney somehow. Because remember, she's contorted. She's all contorted. So she brings her foot down. She waits till she hears a little animal. She couldn't guess what kind of animal it was. We don't know what it was. Scratching and scrambling around the chimney close above her. And then saying to herself, she says this to herself, this is Bill. And she gave a sharp kick. And then she waits to see what happens. So she lets her foot go and kicks. and the first thing she hears is a general chorus. There goes Bill. And the rabbit's voice of alarm, catch him! Catch Bill, you better hedge. And then silence as another confusion of voices. Hold his head up. Brandy, get some brandy. Don't choke him. How was it, old fellow? They're bringing him. He got knocked out, maybe. What happened to you, Bill? Tell us. Sorry. Last came a little feeble squeaking voice. That's Bill, thought Alice. Remember, she can't see. She doesn't know. She kicks this thing and it comes flying out. Well, 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 I hardly know. No, no more, thank ye. No more what? No more brandy. I'm better now. Ugh. But I'm a deal too flustered to tell. I'm flustered. I can't tell you what happened. All I know is something comes at me like a jack in the box, and up I goes like a skyrocket. Okay. You know what a jack in the box is, right? That's where you wind it up and boom, up pop goes the weasel, up comes the jack in the box, right? Her foot was like the jack in the box and kicked him, and he goes up like a skyrocket. A skyrocket, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. So you did. We must burn that house down, the rabbit said. He's got to burn his own house down. That's the only. And Alice called out suddenly. This is the first time she calls out. If you do, I'll set Diana on you. Now, I don't know if these creatures know who Diana is. I know maybe the rabbit does. Maybe, I don't know. We'd have to review the text again. But there was a clear, dead silence instantly. Why is there a silence? You think it's a silence because they know who Diana is? I don't think so. I think they're silent because they heard Alice for the first time. And don't forget how big Alice is. And she says, if you do that, I'll set Diana on you. Diana could be anything. Alice thought to herself, I wonder what they will do next. If they had any sense, they would take the roof off. She could take the roof off by just boom, right? But after a minute or two, they began moving again, and Alice heard the rabbit say, a barrel full will do, to begin with. A barrel full. They're going to fill a barrel with something. A barrel. What? A barrel full of what? Thought Alice. She had no doubt. For the next moment, suddenly little pebbles come rattling in at the window. They're pouring pebbles in at the window, and some of them hit her in the face. They're throwing a bunch of pebbles. They're throwing rocks, pebbles at her. I'll put a stop to this, she says to herself, and she shouts, you better not do that again, which produced another dead silence. Alice noticed with some surprise that the pebbles were all turning into little cakes. Oh my God, magic. Don't forget where you're at, ladies and gentlemen. You're in Wonderland. You're in Wonderland. So the pebbles now turn into cakes, and they're laying on the floor. And then she gets an idea. Don't ask me where this idea came from, ladies and gentlemen. If I eat one of these cakes, it's sure to make some change in my size. And since it can't possibly make me larger, it must make me smaller, I suppose. This is deadly. It could be deadly. This is logic. She's concluding that if she can't get any bigger if she eats a cake, she drank the bottle and she got larger. Maybe the cake will make her smaller. She's thinking about this. What is logic? I want you to look it up. I put it on the side here. Logic is reasoning, conducted or assessed according to strict principles of validity. What a bunch of words, right? What does it mean? Well, I defined it for you here. If A equals B and B equals C, A equals C. You see how logical that is? If A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then certainly A can be C. Those are syllogisms. We don't want to talk about that and logical premises and all that stuff. We'll talk about that some other time. But right now, Alice's reasoning, I'm going to suggest, is flawed in reality, but not in Wonderland. In Wonderland, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense that the pebbles became cakes, and now she can think, well, if I eat this cake, something good might happen, she supposes. So she swallows one of the cakes and was delighted to find out she began shrinking directly. This is great news, isn't it? She's shrinking. And as soon as she was small enough to go through the door, she ran out. She runs out. And she found quite a crowd of little animals and birds waiting outside. That's where all the creatures were. Remember, she couldn't see them, but there they were. The poor little lizard, Bill. This is the first time we find out who Bill is. It was a lizard. And he was in the middle. We're going to stop right there. The word is middle. I'm going to save that for the next chapter. Wow. These 2 pages were just full of action. We haven't had such action since she was falling into the rabbit hole. Holy moly. Holy moly. Thank you for listening. This is your reading with Jimmy. This is an analysis of chapter 4. The rabbit sends in a little bill, which we now know what that means. Jimmy at readingwithjimmy.com. Jimmy at readingwithjimmy.com is my email. Please email me, and I look forward to seeing you the next time. Thank you very much.